the game, so when he begins to talk to me like that, it fires me up. So we had a game plan, but throughout the fight, he just kept saying, you're the champion. Go out there and take it. You got 3 more rounds for him. And he would just talk to me like that, and it just kept me inspired and kept me fired up. So, I mean, Verge deserves, you know, a hand clap, man. He's got a gold medalist and a world champion. I think tonight he could be in the class of world-class tournaments because he started me from scratch. And we've been blessed, man. We've been blessed to have a gold medal in the World Championships.
We all have.
Andre,
next question.
Yeah, earlier in the week, you know, we had talked about speed, using a lot of footwork, and I think offensively, it was one of the things that just stood out the most. I think the other thing that really stood out, though, is your defense. You had a lot of upper body movement. You didn't really let him land anything clean, or really anything of note throughout the fight. What would you say out of those two, what was the biggest factor for you?
I think just keeping Kessler off balance, and like you said, the defense just kind of took care of itself. You know, I didn't really have a shell like Winky Wright, or it was just keeping him off balance. He didn't really know what I was going to do, and I think that's key. I think sometimes people can't put a finger on my style, so they'll say things like he's a speedy guy or he's a boxer. But if you really take the time to watch Andre Ward, I do a lot of different things, and I'm really a physical fighter, and I'm physically strong. And I think people saw that tonight. So just keeping him off balance, attacking him when he didn't think I was going to attack him, roughing him up when he didn't, you know, he didn't want to fight inside. I was trying to, you know, rough him up as much as I could, just switching up my game. And the next thing you know, I'm left-handed. So just making him think at all times and not really getting into a rhythm was key tonight.
Hey Dan, when's Andre going to mix it up with Andre Durrell? Is that going to be here in Oakland?
No, Jimmy Lennon made an error tonight. Right now, we're scheduled to fight Jermaine Taylor. It's still unknown whether or not Jermaine will move forward with the tournament. Now, Andre said something on the air. Why don't you repeat it, Andre? On Jermaine.
Let me see. I think I just said that I saw on his Twitter account. Yeah, his Twitter account. He responded to his to his fans, and he said that he's actually training now, and he's gonna stay in the tournament. So, from what I understand, I don't think they can make Jermaine, you know, exit out the tournament. So it looks like he wants to stay into it. So, but I mean, you know, we fought the best tonight, so it really doesn't matter who it is to me.
What's the date, Dan?
I think it's March. Yes.
Yeah. At one point, sort of 6th round, 7th round, things seemed to be going well. From where I was sitting, I could see it looked like, Virgil, you were grumbling at him a little bit, and you were sort of a little bit of like grumbling back. Were you trying to tell him something? What was going on with that?
No, it wasn't.
I can see that the Ward just made a little bit of a face like, you know, don't worry, I'm good type of thing.
No, absolutely not. No grumbling. Probably an unnecessary exchange. I felt at that time he was ready to go over to the other side. I could see him starting to quit trying to win and just settle in for maybe trying to line a lucky punch and a knockout. His whole style started changing. He started getting a little tentative, and I wanted to remind Andre that he would keep coming, and that he would keep chunking them, so to speak, but he was leaving himself open more and more and more to counterattacks. And if anything, I think that's what I pushed.
Andre, after your fast start, over here, after your fast start, it seemed Kessler came back in the second round, and it was pretty much toe-to-toe at that point. At what point after that, which round did you feel like you were starting to control the fight?
I felt like I was in control pretty much the whole night, but I think probably about the 5th or 6th round, I could sense that he was still going to swing, he was still in the fight, but he was kind of giving up mentally. It was kind of the Joe Calzaghe scene again, where he kept throwing, but you could tell that, man, he's not as confident as he was when the first bell rang. And you know, they say some guys are the most feared, and some. I think I'm the most underestimated fighter in the game. I don't know about
not anymore. Not anymore.
I don't know about after the night, but I think that up until this point, I'm the most underestimated fighter in the game. People see me on the outside, and they see one thing. They minimize my style. They minimize me, and then they get in there and they're like, "This isn't what I signed up for." And by the time they figure it out, it's too late. And that up until this point, that's been a huge advantage for me, because you know, I just patiently and quietly just say, okay, you know, and then I get in there and I do my thing, and again, by the time they figure it out, it's too late.
Did you feel that Kessler underestimated you tonight?
Oh, absolutely. Now, let me say this. I know he trained hard, and I know he prepared as a champion, you know, but I've been around boxing a long time, and you can get the sense if a guy respects you or not. He just thought I was a young kid, you know, happy to be here, just happy to be fighting for a title, but there's no way that this kid with 20 fights is going to beat me. And that was the same mentality that his promotional team had. I mean, why would he believe I was going to beat him? But I had other plans, and God had other plans. So,
how does this night compare to winning your championship here in Oakland to going abroad and winning an Olympic gold medal? Wow,
you know, I've been asked that, and I don't know how to compare them. You know, it's you know, it's ironic how this has turned into, you know, an American versus European tournament. You know, so there's some similarities there, but they both have their own special, unique spot. You know, with all the American anti-sentiment that we faced in 2004, and just the times that we were in, it made winning the gold medal that much more special. But winning the world championship, I mean, this is unbelievable. You know, this is two realistic goals that we started out having when I was 9 years old. You know, and this is something that my father, Frank Ward, who when I dedicate this fight to, he and Burge talked about. You know, and they were serious. They said, man, this kid can win a gold medal, and then he can win a world championship. And, you know, it's happened. So it has its own special place. You know, but there's always going to be a special place in my heart for winning that gold medal. And, but again, I'm happy about this too, because, you know, I took it personal when, you know, Carl Froch and some of the media said things like, you know, everything's going as planned. You know, the Euros are up 2-0. And they expected it to be 3-0 after the night. And I said, you know, I got other plans. I'm going to wear red, white, and blue, you know, and I'm going to be patriotic, and I'm going in there to represent the country that I love and show them that there's still some good fighters in America, especially in the super middleweight division, because, you know, the world championships have been overseas for a long, long time in the super middleweight division. It's changed hands tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, how you doing? It's the boxing down here, and I want to just make a statement quick, because, you know, you did make me a believer when we first met.
Right.
You know, we talked about a lot of people saying you had a lack of firepower, and tonight you brought out the full arsenal. First quick statement is you are really great for boxing. It's about time that we did have a good boxing story where we can bring people back to mainstream in boxing.
Right.
However, the way we look at this tournament now, Arthur Abraham really seems to be the only other person for you to fight. And after the drubbing that he took from Miranda in their first fight, and then the way I saw you handle Miranda, I really don't see anything else coming out of this. I love Andre Dirrell, still not enough firepower to deal with you. The question is, in light of the Dirrell fight, did you feel that you really had to assert yourself and keep Kessler on his heels and keep him going backwards tonight?
Yeah, that's the thing about championship fights that I've learned and that I'm learning, is that you got to stay focused for 36 minutes, and that's one reason why I really appreciate Burge, is because, I mean, you can be in a fight and you can you know, lose focus, and he constantly, you know, keeps me focused by the things that he says, and so there were certain points in the fight where, you know, he was coming on and Burge said, listen, you don't have to lunge at him, you don't have to get over anxious, stay under your feet, stay patient, and back this guy up, you know, and I think that when I was patient and I just relaxed and kind of let my punches flow, I did that, and I hit him with ease. But when I was anxious, I lunged a little bit, and, you know, it looked a little sloppy, but that was the goal. Is midway through, Burge felt like he was starting to kind of give up, and we wanted to keep him on his heels. And I think we did that, and I think I started stepping it up even more. I think right when the referee had halted the bout, I had hurt him with a right hand, because he kind of wobbled a little bit, and I pulled away and looked at him, and then boom, the referee jumped in, and that's why the crowd started to boo. And I think we were getting to him, and I would have really loved to see what would have happened if the referee didn't jump in.
He never could figure out. He couldn't figure you out.
Andre, you touched on this briefly, but do you feel that it was important, for the sake of the tournament, that you got